Ask Raven. The wise one listens and answers with song, from cedar shadows where old truths belong.
Ask Raven, I circle mast and memory shore, where the sea keeps secrets forevermore. For I watched the Belmac rest that night, her hull held fast in silver light. No storm did press, no squall did roar. She lay at anchor by an empty shore. An old village slept beneath grass and sand. No cedar house, no guiding hand. No smoke arose, no voices poured. Yet still the tide moved shore toward shore. Quiet does not mean alone, for memory roots in earth and stone. Where once small feet and laughter ran, their echoes linger beyond the span. The living were not alone aboard, though no wind shifted, none implored. The deck lay still beneath the moon, but unseen steps would follow soon. The cook stood washing dish and plate, unaware of crossing fate. Water whispered, steel replied, gentle rhythms of the tide. Ceramic touched with metal's ring, a harmless, homely, clattering thing. She dried her hands, she raised her head, and saw a man where none should tread. Outside the galley window's frame, he stood in silence, still the same. Not knocking loud nor calling clear, but watching as if drawing near. His face held neither rage nor plea, only quiet memory, as though he stood where once had been in his village hearth and cedar skin. She screamed, the galley filled with racing feet, with questions sharp and pulses fleet. But when they reached the window's view, only night and dark tide grew. No splash disturbed the anchored side, no oar cut through silver tide, no footprint marked the wooden board, no living soul stood there aboard. Yet from above on shadowed wing, I felt the harbor answering. The sea did not recoil in fright, it knew that shape in fading light. Later still in bunk below, where steel ribs hung and engines slow, Ted lay resting, eyes half closed, between the wake and dreamland's coast. He was not lost in fevered sleep, nor wandering thought in darkness deep. He heard instead a lighter sound, small bare feet on meadow ground. Step by step the ladder rang, a child's descent in gentle clang. Through engine room she ran with cheer, a silver-threaded giggle near. Back and forth in playful sweep, through spaces wide where shadows creep. No fear within her fleeting tone, no anger in the laugh she'd show. She climbed into the forward berth, where Ted lay anchored to the earth. She tugged his blanket, firm and clear, not cruel, not harsh, but very near. He woke. He did not shout, he did not flee, for sailors learn what not to see. He kept his breath, he held his ground, and listened to the harbor sound. He heard her laughter once again, her quickened steps retreating then, through engine room in fading glide, up ladders rung toward silent tide, and then no shadow cast by lantern flare, no child stood waiting there, no door swung wide, no body found, only cooling steel and harbor sound. The living were not alone aboard, though none of flesh or breath had stirred. Ask Raven, are such wonders to be feared? Are such presences cursed or seared? No blade was drawn, no threat was sworn, no malice in that anchored moor. The man who watched from window's pane walked not in fury nor in pain, He stood where once his home had grown, upon a shore he'd always known. The child who climbed with playful tread sought no path of grief or dread. She moved by habit, not by charm, within remembered harbor charm. When villages fade from map and name, the earth forgets not flame by flame. The tide keeps rhythm, stone keeps trace, and memory claims its dwelling place. Not all who wander feel the scene, between the waking and the dream. Not all who linger know the shift of time's dividing silent rift. They walk the paths their feet once knew. They climb the stairs they always drew. They laugh in rooms they once called home, unaware the years have flown. And anchored boats that drift nearby may cross such currents silently. The Belmac herself knew roll and sway, knew open sea and breaking spray, narrow built and quick to lean. She tested nerves in waters keen. I saw her buried gunwale deep, saw living faces pale and steep. Yet back she rose for ocean's claim, balanced still, unchanged the same. She passed that trough firm and sound, returned each time from ocean's pound. And so at anchor still and mild, she did not tremble at the child. Strong hulls do not repel all things. Some currents pass on softer wings. For steel remembers strain and bend, and wood recalls both start and end. In time her own last tide would fall, not in storm or battle's call. Left to anchor in peaceful bay, her anchor slipped one quiet day. She dragged, she leaned, she met the land, returned at last to waiting sand. No reflow came, no engine stirred, only wind and gull and word. Some speak of loss, of fate severe, of endings drawn in lines of fear. But cycles turn, as tides have sworn, and shore receives what sea has borne. Perhaps the man still walks that strand, perhaps the child still holds that land. And when the Belmac met the shore, it was not ending, only more. Ask Raven, hear what harbors keep, where silence settles thick and deep. Not all who walk unseen are torn, not all who linger are forlorn. Some simply move where once they stood, within remembered field and wood. They may not know the change has come, that breath has ceased, that time is done. Compassion then for steps unheard, for quiet laugh and watching word, for overlap of shore and sea, for memory's continuity. The living were not alone aboard, yet none were harmed and none were floored. Two worlds brushed close in anchored night, then parted with the morning light. If this tale reached you through mist and foam, if harbor silence felt like home, if unseen steps have brushed your night, or anchored memory held you tight, stand with us where stories stay, where lost names find their rightful way. Let lantern light not gutter low, let old tides rise and old winds blow. Drop a coin in the treasure chest below, help keep the ghost boat afloat in ebb and flow. For every tale that finds its spark keeps wonder harbor from going dark. And if you've walked where shadows glide, or felt two words at turning tide, if something stirred you deep and slow, let Raven and the captain know. Throw us a line across the foe at ghostboatadventures@gmail.com.
What you forget, Raven remembers. Through fire and embers, Raven remembers. Nevermore. nevermore.